What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Dynamite episode of the Tricology News Talk. And we will be splitting each show because normally, like we did last week, we did a Dynamite Rampage and Collision show. But since this is Forbidden Door week, we are going to be splitting up shows. So tonight, we're doing the Dynamite review, and then later on this week, after Forbidden Door, we're going to do a Collision review along with the Forbidden Door pay-per-view review. So that's what's going to be the schedule for this week to let everybody know. But before we get into this Dynamite review, help me welcome my co-host, Mr. Leland Benford. What's going on, man? And how you feeling about Forbidden Door weekend?
Man, what is up, everybody? I am excited about the Forbidden Door weekend. This is like Christmas time for me with AEW because you get all these great New Japan talents coming over, messing up the show, adding new faces and just new pops and new music. But it's always such a good time to see these New Japan wrestlers come in to stir up everything. And definitely last night, the pot was stirred. There was a lot happening with New Japan wrestlers, and Forbidden Door is always fun, man. And this is no difference. No different from last time, but I think it's even bigger and better now. I think a lot of the New Japan guys have been getting kind of planted in there for the last couple of months or so. And then also there's these new challenges that's coming up and new matches still coming up. So Forbidden Door is looking to be an exciting show.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the matches are some of them are dream matches, and then some of them are rivalries. But pretty short card, not too much, not too little. So quality over quantity. So that's what they're doing for Forbidden Door. I like that. And it's gonna be very interesting. And also it's gonna be interesting what they do for Rampage and also for Collision. And we'll get into those in a second as well. But to start off, Dynamite, of course, we are in Chicago to cap off what happened from Collision. But after Chicago, we will be moving up to the north in Toronto. But tonight, Dynamite was in Chicago last night, and the first thing to go off is we have a brothers versus brothers tag team matchup with the Guns versus the Hardys. The match itself, it was okay. It was pretty good. The crowd was hot through and through, but in the end, the Guns beat the Hardys with the help of Bullet Club Gold. If y'all remember, the Guns helped Bullet Club Gold in their previous match, so Bullet Club Gold was returning the favor for the Guns. And then after the match, it's what sets up for this coming episode of Collision. So after the match, White jump on Matt Hardy with a Blade Runner, while Robertson dropped Jeff with a left hand of God because he had with all them quarters and pennies in his hand. So Jeff Hardy got a broken jaw there, and Matt was about to suffer the same fate. But when Ricky Starks ran out to make the save, he was quickly outnumbered. Then FTR sprint out with a huge ovation, but the numbers again was too much. But then CM Punk ran out to even the odds as Bullet Club Gold and the Guns bailed before Robertson could suffer another GTS. Punk grabbed the microphone and issued a 4-on-4 challenge for Collision Saturday. He even said, "I'm not even supposed to be on Dynamite. Collision is my show." But it was a good thing to see CM Punk there because they was in Chicago, so that was a little thing that good there.
Yeah, I think this whole opening. First off, if you start to show off with the Hardy Boys and that music plays, you're gonna get an instant pop. I like the Guns presentation. I really liked in the beginning when Austin did the whole finger guns and he spit out the mist of water when he did that. That was a really nice touch. I always liked their theme music. I like that they instantly get heat. I like that they come out in these old throwback Shawn Michael outfits. And Dalton and Austin have really become their own. And I think Dalton did a great spinning kind of move spinning suplex move last night, and they worked really well. They're young guys, they're hungry guys. They work well with the veteran talent. The Chicago crowd was hot right from the beginning of this thing. Matt got him going with the delete chance. Jeff looked good in the ring. Everything that happened with the Bullet Club goal was just extra on it. I mean, the Guns have a victory over FTR in the Hardy Boys. I mean, you can't deny it. They're a heel team, and they're supposed to have wins on their records that people question and say, "Did you really get it? Did you really get that win yourself?" There was a moment in the beginning of the match where Matt slapped Austin on the butt like he was a little baby. Because these guys are young and hungry, but I'm really over on this team. And I think pairing them up with Bullet Club Gold, these guys are called the Guns. Bullet Club Gold, I mean, they kind of work together. Maybe they become a group, maybe they don't. It was a shock to see CM Punk come out on Dynamite, but I think they're doing that just to continue to push Collision, to make sure people know that Collision is a place they can see CM Punk. But I'm surprised to see him. I'm surprised to see CM Punk and the Elite on the exact same show, even though the Elite never came out. Well, did they come out? They never really came out. They had the little, we see them briefly, but I was surprised to see the two on the same show pretty much.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. And I'm
Right.
gonna tell you,
And they're in Chicago, so why not? If Chicago came out to watch wrestling, if CM Punk is in the back, take them out there, even if it is just for a run in.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But first, we got to talk about our next matchup was Mark Briscoe defeating Jeff Jarrett in the concession stand brawl. Man, this was like all over the place. So
this was a car wreck. This was some backyard wrestling. This was some of everything nasty. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, last week on Rampage, Mark Briscoe had his father Aubrey Edwards backing him up. But this time, not only that he had Papa Briscoe, but he also had Best Friends, Lucha Brothers, and Christopher Daniels as his backup to feed off Jay Lethal, Shot J Dunn, Satin Obscene, and even Karen Jarrett, who disguised herself in one of the concession stand girls there. But yeah, this was a fun brawl. I really enjoyed it. So I don't think this rivalry is over yet, but a pretty fun brawl toward another chapter in this rivalry. So
I think also with this concession stand brawl, I do want to point out this really good moment with what's their manager name? It's not something she. What's the manager name in Jay Lethal's Sundom group? Sundom Goon. Can't remember his name. But anyways, the manager of that group jumped in the camera, but he had a bandana on and a hat, so we didn't know it was him until later when he pushed Mark Briscoe off the ladder and he revealed himself to be a fan in the crowd. I thought that was a really good moment looking back on it, because I was like, he jumped in the camera and put himself in the camera, but we didn't know it was him. So I thought that was a really cool Easter egg that he put in there. But yeah, this match was exactly what we thought it was going to be. I'm glad that it wasn't all the way concession stands. I'm glad that by the time we came back from commercial, we were back in the ring and everything took place in the ring. And we got Daddy Briscoe in there. AEW love daddy characters. But we had Daddy Briscoe in there. So all of that worked out. But yeah, crazy match. And then all the run-ins that come in, that was pretty fun as well. All those run-ins back and forth with Penta and everything. These matches, anytime I got Jeff Jarrett in there, I always think about those carnival, sideshow, carny type matches. It's going to be a bit of a gimmick. And was I entertained? Was it fun seeing Mark Briscoe pour bit or shoot mustard all over Jeff Jarrett? Absolutely, it was. It was a fun match. And I would want them to do something else. Maybe they can do the next Anarchy in the Arena match.
I wouldn't call it that, but a false count anywhere, I could do that.
Yeah,
And
false
I feel
count. Give me some more gimmicks, Jeff Jarrett. What else do you got?
I don't know. They could do that. I think that's his signature match. I think that's what they're going for. So every wrestler have their own signature match. So I think the concession was more for Jeff Jarrett. So yeah,
Also, I just want to point out that Penta came out in a Armani Exchange shirt. You over here dripping with the swag. I'm like, okay, they pay him well over there.
yeah. So like I said, Mark Briscoe had a lot more backup this week, for what they had on Rampage. So yeah, like I said, this rivalry ain't over yet, but we'll see how it goes. But moving on, backstage with the BCC, and they are with Dark Callis and Kosei Takeshita. John Moxley issues a 5-on-5 challenge to the Elite, as the BTC and Takeshita will have Moxley's protege as Saja Onumas on their side. Moxley said the Rainmaker will have a nightmare on Sunday, thanks to the best wrestler in the world. Daniel said he challenged Okada to a face-to-face tonight, but he believes that Okada is not even in the building. So when they step in the ring, Danielson will prove to Okada that he is just an amateur. Whoa, don't say that. Don't say that.
Also, I just want to point out Takasha's dope 1990s villains leather jacket that he had on. That jacket was dope. He looked like he belonged in anime. So just if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch that segment and look at Takashi's jacket. That was cool.
Yeah, but he go for Danielson found out later tonight that Okada wasn't no amateur, and we'll get to that in a second. But we had a
just
video.
to say Okada is an amateur is ridiculous statements. Yeah, I'm really excited about this match. I hope it's the main event, man, because this is kind of a dream match right here. You know, these two guys, Okada versus Danielson, man, oh man, I am excited to watch this match and see what they do. So different in styles, first time ever. Like, this is type of stuff that, you know, we would play in WWE 2K and make those characters and have that kind of match in the video game world. So it's cool to kind of see this match actually happen. So thank you, Tony, for making this match happen.
Yeah, and they did say this will be the main event of Forbidden Door. So
even better.
Yeah. And we had a video package highlighting the debut of Collision was shown. So we had a good highlight there. And next up, we had the undefeated trio of Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki as they defeated Achin Andretti, Darius Martin, and AR Fox. Pretty good chaos 6-man tag team match. They even had some fun callbacks from the Andretti and Jericho food while everyone got their big moves in. So, but in the end, Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki remain undefeated. So that they even team up in the at last year's Forbidden Door, and we'll get to that again in this year. And the reason why we'll get into that again this year was after the match, Renee Paquette interviewed the winning team in the ring as she asked Jericho about being face to face with Sting for the first time last week. Jericho ripped the microphone from her hands and called it a monumental moment in wrestling history. Everyone was excited except Jericho, who called Sting a whore for showing up wherever the highest bidder is. Jericho issued a challenge to Sting, Darby Allin, and a partner to face the Suzuki Gods at Forbidden Door. Sting and Allin walked into the ring as Sting put his arms around Jericho, said they accept the challenge. Allin said Jericho has made a lot of enemies in a lot of places, and said Jericho will find out who their partner is at Collision, which deflated the crowd and got boos because they won't find out later on in the show. So there's been a lot of questions on who's going to be Sting and Darby Allin's partner and all that other stuff. So we don't know who's going to be. And since Collision, it will be in Toronto this week, But we have a lot of questions. Some people say it might be Goldberg. Some say it might be Lance Storm. We don't even. It could be somebody from New Japan, but we don't know yet. But it's gonna be an interesting trios match this Sunday at Forbidden Door.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I am looking forward to seeing. Yeah, Forbidden after this go home show. This Forbidden Door episode. This Forbidden Door pay-per-view is really stacked, and they really put it in a way where I'm like, okay, it's a lot of must-see matches on this card right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get into the Elite promo, and you mentioned earlier, and I'm gonna tell you why, because the Elite, they was not in the building for this, because this was a pre-tape promo. Because if they were in the same building where CM Punk is, it would not be pretty. So yeah, so this promo was a pre-tape promo. It was not a live show.
I got chosen for making specialist.
Yeah, it definitely was a pre-tape promo. They probably, I don't know if they was in the building earlier or not in the building afterwards. Or like I was saying on Collision, maybe it was all the work and there's no problems between CM Punk and the Elite and everything is cool. But a lot of people on the internet are starting to say that this was all a work, that they, I don't think a lot of people knew that Punk got injured when he left. And I think that was the kind of the thing. Like, I think they were kind of keeping that a little secret, that he was like injured, because at first he just got relinquished the title because of what happened, and it wasn't because of another injury. And to be fair, if they would have just came out at that time and said he had to relinquish the title because of another injury, after he just came off an injury, even more people would doubt, that he is the guy who can still carry this company, or is the guy to put this belt on, if he's so injury prone after he's been out of the ring for so many years, So I think the way they left off and making it more about drama, making it that the Elite got into it and all these ridiculous stories about, Kenny Omega taking care of the dog and then him getting bit and all this other stuff. I've talked to AEW wrestlers who told me this story, about CM Punk just swinging on the Bucks, but that wrestler wasn't there. It was just from what they heard. And I think they're really good at just starting a rumor, and putting enough people on it to make it believable, and then letting the people run wild with it. Because now we're all invested in this storyline between the Bucks and CM Punk and Kenny Omega and the Elite. So wrestling is wild, and I think these guys do it the best when only a couple of people should know the truth or not. I think because they're a smaller company, I think they can hold on to some of their kayfabe better than other companies.
Yeah. So during the promo, the Elite were backstage talking about the BCC's challenge. Heyman and Perez says the number doesn't look good in their favor. They have friends all over. Kenny Omega said, thankfully, a lot of people hate Don Callis and Tote Takeshita, as Eddie Kingston walked in on the shot, while Kingston said he doesn't like the Elite, but he hates Claudio Castagnoli even more. So he will team with the Elite, but he gets to name the fifth partner. And the Elite set the terms, and Kingston walk out of the frame. So during the main event segment, we find out who will be the fifth partner, but we'll announce that later on. And after that, Adam Cole, baby, and the Devil, MJF face off. So Cole came out to the ring with a huge ovation, said he had to give the Devil his due last week. While Cole didn't win, neither did MJF, and said it was smart to not accept the 5 more minutes after that 30-minute draw. Cole called out MJF, who got a massive reaction from the crowd, and MJF told the mouth breathers to keep their mouth shut. MJF said Cole should be thanking him for bringing out the best of him last week. MJF said he had Cole beat last week, which was so funny. I'm like, bro, what the hell you smoking? And so while Cole wants a rematch, for his well-being. MJF declines the rematch. Cole said they could fight tonight, while Tony Schiavone stood up on the commentary table, said he had an announcement, and both MJF told him to shut up, Schiavone, simultaneously, which was funny. And then Schiavone talked about the blind eliminator tournament, which they showed earlier when they had the balls there on, and they was doing the raffle shuffling, and they pulled out 2 members, and he said the names that they drew earlier were Adam Cole and MJF. Cole was furious about, hey, I am not teaming up with this guy. And MJF would say, what are you out of your mind? You want me to wrestle? And then he was also going to reject the challenge again from Hiroshi Tanahashi. But Cole go to him to accepting the challenge, and MJF does accept the challenge, and Cole patted him on the shoulder and said, good luck, partner.
Yeah, this is going to be first off, great seeing Cole being the manipulator, and that he is, but in a good way, because we all know that MJF's biggest weakness is his ego, and the way that Cole kind of phrased this promo was like, oh, so if you don't want to fight him, it's because you think he's better than you. And of course, MJF is trying to prove that he's the best in the world. So here's an opportunity. But great, yeah, this is awesome. And the fact that you're gonna have the team up, I like first of all, I like MJF and Adam Cole together. They both are great at what they do. They're both great on the mic, they're both great in the ring, they're both great personalities. And this is honestly, I think a couple of episodes back, I was saying that I don't know if the crowd is getting behind Adam Cole right now. I think, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure why they're not. I think they might be kind of fighting against the push, but I think since he's gotten with MJF and the way they did last week, I think the fans are really behind Adam Cole now, because here's someone who can shut MJF up. But I think MJF has a little bit of a edge on Adam Cole because MJF is willing to be an absolute trash of a human being to get what he needs to get done. And Adam Cole right now is trying to show that high road. So, and the fact that they got to team up. Also, I like seeing them roll the balls like the old Royal Rumble kind of selection thing. I haven't seen one of those bingo machines in forever. That was like classic wrestling for me. I like these two. I like Adam Cole being in the championship picture. That's where he's always shined. That's where he's always tend to gravitate to. And it's because he's incredible on the microphone and he know how to tell a really good story in the ring.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting and I have to say this is definitely something new because we always every time we get an MJF rivalry they always something to do the same thing over, but this is very new here, and this kind of reminds me of, you remember when Matt Hardy was chasing MVP for the United States title and they had to put them in a blind tag team during that rivalry? That kind of reminds me of that.
Gotcha. But yeah, I like how they kind of playing this out a little bit longer to give us a little bit more with it, and see where else it can go. But yeah, definitely this is good stuff here. I like where they're going with it.
Yeah, and then we move over Excalibur's form us the brackets for both the men's and the women's Orange Heart Cup tournament. So for the men's, we have CM Punk versus Associate Kusuma, which that will happen at Forbidden Door this Sunday. We got Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe, Dustin Rhodes versus Powerhouse Hobbs, and then Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks. And as far as who's going to go in the second round, I think it's going to be Punk and versus Samoa Joe, and then Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks. And we'll see what they go from there. But that's my prediction going into the first round.
Gotcha. I definitely can see that. I know CM Punk is definitely getting in. I think it might end up being CM Punk versus Ricky Starks or CM Punk versus Juice Robinson.
That's what you're begging for in the finals? That's what you're begging for?
I'm thinking. But I think CM Punk might win the Owen Cup just so he can have a belt to carry around.
He already got a belt carried around. They gonna reveal that in that red sack.
Yeah, but it ain't official till it's official,
Yeah, but and for the women, we got that.
Yep, you lost your district. For the women, we got
And then for the women, we got Dr. Britt Breaker DMD versus Ruby Soho, and that will happen on Dynamite next week. We got Anna Jay versus Sky Blue, Nyla Rose versus William Nightingale, and then Athena versus Billy Starks. Was that gonna happen on the pre-show of Forbidden Door? So I do see Britt versus Sky Blue in the second round. Also, Win Nightingale versus Athena in the second round.
Yeah, the women's division looks really good too, as well. Who do you think gonna make it over there?
I don't know. I can't really tell who's gonna make it to the finals, but I just gave my prediction on the first round, and who I see may make it into the second round.
Gotcha. Yeah, the women's division looks really good. I think they did a better job with putting people in the brackets this time. I think I still see clear winners. I like that they started with Ruby and Dr. Britt. This is the finalist from last time. So I'm interested to see kind of what they do going forward with it. And I think Ruby may win this one.
Oh wait, you actually going with Ruby on this one?
Yeah, I mean, she got really close last time, but then they took it away. They gave it to Britt, Adam Cole. I mean, think about it. If Britt and CM Punk won, they got this two both tattooed kind of people. I think it may kind of go their favor. I think there might kind of be a match there. So I think I'm pulling for Britt this time.
All right, we'll see, man, how that goes. But I think it's gonna be something different. But like I said, that's my predictions for the first round. But we'll see what happens in the second round. But moving on, we got Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia versus Shibata, who is the current ROH Pure Champion, and the AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy. So this was a really fun tag team matchup to set up for Forbidden Door. At first, I thought we were gonna get like 2 single matches at the pay-per-view, but it makes sense to do a fatal 4-way at Forbidden Door because I think Garcia might face Shibata at the next RH pay-per-view, which is Death Before Dishonor. And then I think Cassidy might win at Forbidden Door, and then he'll probably face Zack Sabre Jr. But as far as tonight, Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia, the win for tonight, and then after the match, the all 4-man was grabbing the international title, but in the end, Cassidy ripped the title for everyone's hands and walked to the back. So this is going to be a very fun fatal 4-way match.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because even that match, even just their tag match was a banger. So
yeah. And then we go backstage and he walks up to Will Ospreay, who's just getting into the arena. Moraes asks about Ospreay displaying the Canadian fans ahead for Forbidden Door. Ospreay said AEW will have to get security for him. Don Callis walked in and said he could provide security and by doing him a favor. And Ospreay asked what is in for what is for Callis, and he said he just want Ospreay to defeat Kenny Omega and get the 3 there. So what do you think Don Callis might do during the Ospreay and Kenny Omega match?
Yeah, that was first off, love seeing Will Ospreay on TV. Hope he can be on AEW more often. I hope they lock him down. I think he's a tremendous talent. Can you imagine how things would change with Ospreay on the roster? And being able to see him either on Collision or Dynamite each week would be definitely a treat. So hopefully they can get him on the main roster. But this is definitely a great little segment, playing into the Twitter stuff, playing into Canada, trying to get that crowd to kind of get more involved. But yeah, looking forward to kind of, first off, the Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, their matches is always phenomenal. So I'm happy I get to see them wrestle again this Sunday. And then Danielson and Okada, the 4-way we just announced. Oh man, Zack Sabre Jr. looked great last night. Daniel Garcia split his pants, of course, but yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. is just an incredible talent too. So, man, that's gonna be a packed night. The more I talk about it, the more excited I get about it because it's gonna be a packed night.
My question to you is, do you think Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay 2 will be better than what they had at Wrestle Kingdom?
I don't know. I mean, we're in Kenny Omega's home now, so but Kenny Omega feels very comfortable at Wrestle Kingdom, and also it's a different style, different crowds too. So it may be a little bit better just because the crowd is going to be different. The crowd is going to be more excited. The American crowd is always a little bit louder than the Japanese crowd. Even though the Japanese crowds are great crowds, but the American crowds are a little bit rowdier. So, and then also the card that these guys are on, they really got to do a lot to stand out because you have so many great matches planned.
Yep, absolutely. And then it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen when they meet up again this Sunday. And we got a video package announcing that the AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm will be defending her title against the New Japan Strong Women's Champion Willow Nightingale at Forbidden Door.
I like Willow Nightingale. Let's go Willow.
Yeah, and then main event match. We saw Chris Stanlander defeating Tyra Valkyrie to retain the TBS championship. In my opinion, this was a pretty good, fantastic back and forth battle. Both ladies look excellent out there. I think this is Tyra Valkyrie's best she looked in AEW, and definitely Statlander's one of strongest matches as well.
Yeah, definitely Chris Statlander. I mean, this was like the first match that she had since she's been back where she wasn't wrestling like somebody from her past. It's like her first new person that she wrestles is being back. Everybody else is people she's had matches with before. So it's good to see that she's getting her confidence back. It's good that she's starting to wrestle everyone else is on the roster. And she's looking good while doing it. So yeah, second TBS champion is holding it in.
Yep. So Mama keeps her title there. And then before we go into the main event segment for this week's Rampage, Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, Jeff Klobbs, and Swerve Strickland will take on Rocky Romero, Chuck Taylor, Trent Barrera, and YOH. AW World Champion MJF will be making his first appearance on Rampage. The Acclaim and Daddy Ass will be in action. We'll hear from Adam Cole. Jungle Boy Jack Perry battles the Dakota. And then Anna Jay and Sky Blue will face off in their first round in the Owen Hart tournament match. And then on Collision, CM Punk The AEW Tag Team Champions FTR and Ricky Starks face Switchblade Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. Hiroshi Tanahashi faces Swerve Strickland. Christian Gage addresses the TNT title. We'll hear from Sting and Darby Allin to see who's going to be their partner at Forbidden Door. Brody King battles Andrade, and Will Nightingale will face Nyla Rose in their first round matchup in the Owen Hart tournament match. And then Forbidden Door, the main event. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. Kenny Omega defends the IWGP United States title against Will Ospreay. MJF defends the AEW World title against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Santana versus Jungle Boy, Jack Perry for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Tony Storm defends the AEW Women's World title against the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, Willie Nightingale. CM Punk versus Kamara in their first round of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Kosei Takeshita, and Sante Amar will be facing Heyman Adam Page, the Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and the partner of Eddie Kingston's choosing, Sting, Darby Allin, and their mystery partner versus Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr., Shibata, and Daniel Garcia in a fatal four-way for the international title. And then the pre-show 0 hour will be Athena versus Billy Starks in their first round of the Owen Hart Cup tournament match.
Sounds like it's going to be packed. Man, you almost did a better job than Excalibur just now, Trico.
I don't know. I didn't time myself on that one.
Look, Excalibur better watch out, brother. You got some competition coming up.
Yeah. And then main event segment of the show, we saw Eddie Kingston go to the ring. They thanks the crowd for their ovation. He said he had to put on a shirt just because he had surgery and ate a lot of ice cream. And then Kingston said there was a lot of things he does not agree with, including someone who he thought he was his homeboy, despite not liking the Bucks, but he hates Claudio Castagnoli even more. John Moxley emerged from the crowd, and he came to the ring to face off with Kingston. Moxley said Kingston is drawing the line at Forbidden Door, which Kingston interrupts, said Moxley drew that line, teaming up with that scumbag. Kingston fired up and wanted Moxley to say something, but because he wouldn't, Kingston announced the fifth man at Forbidden Door, and it will be Tomohiro Ishii. Ishii came out to the ring, and Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli hit the ring to attack Kingston and Ishii. Danielson took the mic, said that if Okada isn't showing up, then he will stop Ishii's face in. And then the sounds of coins was dropping. That can only mean one thing. As Okada ran out and had a face-off with Danielson, Yuta attacked Okada from behind as Danielson was about to hit the charging knee, but Okada ducked and Danielson hit Yuta as Okada was about to hit the Rainmaker or Danielson, but he quickly bailed out of the ring, and that left Yuta to eat the Rainmaker as Okada stood tall, staring down at Danielson and the rap, and that's how we ended Dynamite. The Dynamite Go Home show for Forbidden Door.
What a hype show. That's a great go home show. Great way of Dynamite coming back after the Collision premiere. We got two teams now, two of these shows. We got Collision, we got Dynamite. You know, we got teams that are going to be competing in creative offices. The wrestlers are going to be competing now to see who can throw a better show. This was the action-packed Dynamite doing what Dynamite does. But yeah, it also really sets up this Forbidden Door event as a must-see pay-per-view because just the amount of talent, just the amount of the years of experience is going to go into this pay-per-view in that ring. I mean, you know, it's just going to be incredible. And I think Forbidden Door is one of the best ideals I think AEW came up with in having this New Japan interference. I know Ring of Honor did similar kind of things. And it's not the first time anyone's done it, but I think they did a good job of creating this Forbidden Door gimmick around Tony Khan and having this Forbidden Door open. Even like their imagery that looks kind of like Doctor Strange with the portals coming in, these new people coming in. I think all that kind of stuff really works for me. So yeah, I think they have a stacked card, and I think we're really in for a good night of wrestling.
Yeah, and of course, Forbidden Door was originally named for AEW's best versus the New Japan's best, so that's what mainly came for. So we had a great show, a great Forbidden Door last year, even though some of our stars was on the injured list, but this time we ain't got nobody injured this time. So I do believe this is going to be a great Forbidden Door this year, and I'm really looking forward to that. And see what's going to be moving forward after Forbidden Door, and then going into All in August, and that's going to be very interesting. And then of course you got the AEW Fight Forever video game coming out the week after Forbidden Door, so it's going to be very interesting.
And then also on top of that, we still don't know who Darby Allin's Steam partner is going to be. So it's still these elements of surprise. It's these still things that we don't know. And now because Rampage, usually, before Collision came out, they would say, we'll tell you on Rampage. And then because Rampage was taped right after Dynamite, or is taped right after Dynamite, we all would know the spoiler that night. The internet, people would post about it or whatever. But now, because Collision is a true live show, we really do have to wait to Saturday to know what that information will be. And anytime you can kind of get the wrestling community to really be surprised by something or really wait, it's good, because this community tends to want to know all the information as soon as possible and find a way to kind of get it. So it's good that Collision is there now, compared to Rampage, which was taped.
Yeah, Rampage got a good show this week, even though most of their shows be taped, because I always view Rampage as the third hour from Dynamite. So it is what
Pretty
it is.
much.
But we got Collision this Saturday, and it's going to be very interesting what they do, because in case y'all didn't know, the finals, both the men's and the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament, the finals will take place on Collision, because where the finals going to be in Collision, it's going to be in Calvary. So that's basically Owen Hart's hometown. So in case y'all don't know, because y'all might have saw the dates for each first round. So in case y'all don't know where the finals going to take place, it's going to take place on Collision, but in Calvary.
Cool. Well, yeah, this is a great way to send your audience home anticipating the pay-per-view. But yeah, great episode last night. Really good stuff there. Looking forward to go on to Forbidden Door, man. We have a lot to talk about after this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we wrap up, anything else you want to plug in?
Nothing to plug right now. Everything is still moving on everything. Guys, follow this page, like it, comment. We want to know what you think about our episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be leaving the links on there for you guys to check out Empathy. And then also, like I said, we'll be back later on this week, as we will be covering Rampage, Collision, and be doing a review on Forbidden Door. So that's stay tuned for that later on this week. But other than that, he's Leland and I'm Trico, and we're signing off, and we'll see y'all soon.
Peace.